And we're live.
Hola.
How's it going?
I'm here. It's Thursday.
It is Thursday. Oh, hey. So you're here too. This is Dylan Talks Tone, live Q&A, and some other stuff that we're going to talk about this week. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday. We were just watching the Texas Toast live stream.
We were.
And then we came over to our own live stream because we didn't want to be late for it. We switched up microphones this week. It's probably going to be fine. It probably sounds a little different, but I just want to try it. So keep that in mind. Yeah. One of the things we're going to talk about is, I think, and I might be the only one in the whole world, but I think that modded guitars should be worth more money than they are. In certain circumstances. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, because obviously if you mod a 59 Les Paul, that's not a good thing, so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I actually got the idea from a Doug DeMiro video, and he was explaining why modded cars aren't worth more.
Oh, interesting.
You know?
So is that across the board in any industry? Fill in the blank?
There are some mods that make things... If it genuinely makes the thing better, then sometimes it can add to the value. But like if you're just going to put like
but there's
neon
no master list like a house or something.
No. Well, I don't know. If you're going to put like neon behind the rims and like one of those fuzzy steering wheel covers, like that's not going to help.
Just because it means something to you, it might not mean anything to me.
Right. But if you put a supercharger on it, possibly.
Performance.
If it's done correctly. And
Okay.
those kind, I'm hinting already at some of the things that we'll probably talk about when we
Fuzzy
get
steering wheel covers.
fuzzy steering wheel covers when we get to that. A couple of things that I want to talk about before we go, and I see that Texas Toast is in the house.
In the house.
First of all, we got a new shirt came out this week, and I'm really proud of this. I've been thinking about this shirt for like months, and I don't know why.
Years, maybe.
Maybe years. So this is our new Sasquatch t-shirt that...
You can put it over top of it?
Yes, it's called an overlay.
That's
and it's
weird.
transparent. And you can go to DylanTalksTone.com and you can buy the Sasquatch t-shirt in a couple of different colors, etc. Now, the reason I bring up Texas Toast is because I didn't want to talk about this before Chris got his. But in a live stream where we were discussing, well, I think it was one where I was just listening, but the discussion on Texas Toast was...
Before we get there,
Okay.
Texas Toast just gave a good idea.
What?
Because he thought it was going to be him in cutoffs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, see, okay, here's
Anyway.
here's where we're going with this. I thought, because many of you like them, many of you like us, we like them. And during one of their live streams, it was the Dream Guitar live stream. And we were talking about, or they were talking about, and we were participating, what was your dream guitar, and it's not a $200 guitar or whatever. Just like some crappy car, I think Chevette came into the conversation, is not your dream car. And Chris mentioned that his dream car was the American Graffiti
Yes.
55 Chevy.
So we were paying attention.
We were paying attention.
Thoughtful things are better than anything.
Exactly. So I immediately got to photoshopping.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Leslie's contribution to that was the yeah part. And we made a special edition Chris Fesker Texas Toast guitar shirt. And I had one made and sent it to him. And here it is. It is the Dylan Talks Tone Chris from Texas Toast special edition shirt. It is not available on the website. However, if you want me to make it available on the website, I made just one for him, basically. But if you think you would like this shirt, I will make it available on the website because I think it is awesome. I'm actually probably going to get one for myself.
I like it.
And since you just mentioned something about cutoffs, we're going to have to make a Matt shirt too.
Yeah.
We're going to have to make a Matt shirt. So, yeah. Yeah. I actually was just in the upper regions of the front of the motorhome this morning, and I ran across Chris and Matt's heads.
Oh.
In there that we
didn't
still
use
have.
those near enough.
No, we didn't. So anyway, those are a couple of shirts that are available, and we will, I guess, if we get requests in the comments tonight for the Chris from Texas Toast shirt, I will make it available on the website. If you want it, I will do it, because I think it's funny, and I love those guys, and I thought it was a way to, I hadn't thought about Matt.
Was he serious though? I thought about it after we did it. Like, sometimes people say stuff like sarcastically.
About what?
Like that is a favorite car.
Oh no, he texted me the other night,
okay,
and he's like, "This is the coolest thing ever." So
I thought about it afterward. It's easy to say like, "No, such and such is my favorite," and you're like,
no.
seriously?
He said that he had a bunch of American Graffiti. Hopefully, I'm not airing too much of his business, but he said he had a bunch of American Graffiti memorabilia, and this was one of his favorite ones now.
Okay.
And I was like, cool. So yeah, it was fun to make, and I'm trying to get better at t-shirt design with some of the textures and the aging and stuff. So it was like a thing that I was working on too. Like, I'm trying to get better at, because I'm designing all these t-shirts myself. So, well, me and Leslie are. She'll tell me, if it sucks. So, yeah. So for those of you that are new to what we do here, on Thursdays, we answer questions from you. And what I do is I always prioritize the folks that ask them over on Patreon. So I put a post up usually on Wednesday over on Patreon, and I also put it on our YouTube community feed only for YouTube members. So that little join button, is it down this way? When you hit that little join button, you get access to that and some other stuff. It's kind of like YouTube's Patreon. So anyways, I set it all the same, so it's easy. Long and the short of it is, ask questions over there, you get bumped to the top of the list for tonight, because we don't always have time for everything. And then of course, the other way is to use super chats. So to try to get a word in edgewise.
Are you saying you talk too much?
Well, I mean, it is my job to talk. You know what I need to do? I haven't poured I don't usually live pour a drink.
Sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Drink sponsor would be really cool.
A drink sponsor would be great. Yeah. Those Texas Toast guys get like Coors dropped off to them.
Well, nobody knows where we're at.
Well, we should say that we don't necessarily have a drink sponsor, but it is what we use the super chat money for.
Yeah.
Because people will actually send in super chats and be like,
and we have tried and found
yes,
good things.
Yes.
On recommendation.
Yes. One of the scotches over there was actually from...
It was for me.
It was. And you actually kind of like it.
I do like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She doesn't
I forget about it, but...
She doesn't usually like whiskeys or scotches or bourbons. So It's not usually her thing. And one of you sent in a super chat, and we used that money to buy that bottle. And also you suggested what to buy. And so we did, and she likes it. So...
I got 2 recommendations, and I still have one in my list. We haven't seen it.
What's the other one? You'd have to go find it.
I'd have to find it, yeah. I still have one on my list, though. No,
All right.
We saw it last time. You chose this one over that one. I don't remember what it was now.
Yeah, because we chose that because I wanted to try
It's probably because something you had just had. Like, it's usually a palate choice at that moment. Anyway.
Another interesting thing.
Yes.
Is that everyone who asked a question on Patreon this week
Oh, I thought you meant it was the same person. You mean you have 3 different Jeffs?
Yes. Everyone who asked a question
That's
on Patreon, their name is Jeff.
The Knight of Jeff.
And their last name is not Jeff. And they all have different last names, but they're all Jeffs.
But since you haven't got started yet, we have a super chat already. So where am I supposed to go?
Right up here.
Gotcha.
And then we go like this, and we slam that thing on there. Have you considered?
Read it.
Oh.
Heart of Oak.
Heart of Oak. Thank you so much for the... Ooh, that's metric money from Canada.
Jeff, and Jeff. And not even that Jeff, right?
No.
Anyway,
that Jeff is there. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it very much. Oh, and when you send in a super chat, we put it on the screen because it's so cool. Have you considered building the original Fender Marauder pickups? 4 high-powered pickups with 16 pull pieces hidden under the pickguard. If not, what would you suggest as a modern option? Funny you would mention that, Mr. Heart of Oak. Thank you for the super chat. I am currently developing an under pickguard pickup. I don't know if it's going to work.
We've done it before.
We've done it before. It was okay.
It looked cool.
It looked cool. And it was also in a purple guitar.
Yeah. I mean, that might have helped.
So that was the thing, too. However, I came across, in my travels, a top secret guitar from the skunkworks of the very top shelf of the special custom skunkworks area of somewhere, that had 2 pickups underneath the pickguard, and they actually worked. I mean, it was good. And I was able to take, because it's a one-of-a-kind thing, it's never been made again. This is literally like a thing that was only made once. And so I was able to take some measurements and some stuff, and I know what the secret ingredient is. I figured it. I didn't figure it out. I was told the top secret ingredient, and I will, I think, be able to do it. I have not done it, but I have parts coming to do it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. So, in the
I
next...
thought it was just a conversation.
Nope. It is a thing that is going to happen. I am very excited about it, actually. Because when I played this guitar...
So is there a modern option currently?
No, not really. Okay. The closest thing we could probably get to is the Brad Paisley Esquire has a hidden pickup, and it's okay. It's okay, but I know why it's not good now. Because I know what the ingredient is.
Progress.
And once I build it, and once it's good, and once it's in public, you'll see it. And once I can actually
talk about the thing that he can't talk about.
Yeah, I mean this is all together. Like I'm learning all this stuff that I cannot tell you about. It's part of that whole thing. And so anyway, I was able to play this guitar that no one has, and I was like, holy crap! And he's like, do you want to take the pickguard off and measure it? And I'm like, yes I do. And so I got calipers out, and I got a meter, and I mean, it was really...
It's cool to hang out with people who, like, have the same thoughts you do. Like, oh, let's figure it out.
Yes. And what's really fun about what I'm doing is it's stretching my brain. Like, I've been making stuff that is it's good. I've been making stuff that's good.
So I've never seen that happen before. It's not a super chat. Can you put it on the screen?
We can.
Yeah. Welcome. We have a new member.
Yes.
So it must pop up while we're still live. So
yes.
Thank you, Corey.
What he did is he went down to that...
Wherever it is.
Down there, that join button, and he hit that join button. Well, there's only one level. It's only,
I just didn't know it would pop up like that.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
only
super
$5.
Cool. Anyway.
It's only $5. And then, yeah.
It counts. All of it counts.
It does. We appreciate it very much. Anyway. So... Yes, so that's the thing. And WHSSY.
Oh.
We actually shipped your pickups last week, so they are on their way to you across the big pond.
Yeah, and they're staying up late, so thank you.
That's why I wanted to mention
yeah.
you. Yeah.
I also just realized that I thought all this stuff was broken. It's not broken. This software doesn't know what to do with it. It looks just fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just don't see it here.
All right.
Yeah, unless it shows up. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about, this is a pretty cool one that just came in. This actually came in yesterday. Jeff, and this is Jeff McRickard.
Oh, so he is one of the Jeffs. All right.
Yes. Can you explain the circuitry of a Jazzmaster, the difference in the upper and lower rhythm and lead circuits? Does the upper have a resistor? Okay, so the reason we're bringing this up, we actually brought this up last week, but it sort of got glossed over too fast, and I didn't really get to explain it. So he brought it up again. He's like, can you go deeper into this? Because we had Matt and Chris on, and it just kind of got pushed. I felt bad about that. So, okay, so let's talk about the circuitry of a Jazzmaster. And the way we're going to do it is I actually prepared for this.
Ooh.
Visual aids. We have visual aids. Nice. Okay, so.
Oh, but then I'm like still back here.
Yep,
Hello,
you're still behind there.
Stuck.
So the way this works is when the switch, and I'm gonna show you a schematic here in a minute. I got both of them. But basically what this is when the switch is up, the little switch up by the upper bout is up. It basically makes the three-way switch, your neck, middle, and bridge, not functional. And what it does is all you have is the bridge position now on the bottom switch, and then you have separate volumes and separate tones for the neck position versus the bridge, and the normal switch doesn't do anything. The question is, why would they do that? Because wouldn't you just switch it over here and adjust your tone knob, or switch it over there and adjust your tone knob? We gotta remember that there's only one volume and one tone. And so what it's really doing is it's basically turning on another volume and a tone for just the neck pickup. The thing is, and it's always on when that switch is on. The thing is that's not the only difference. And I never actually thought about this until you asked this question, because I've built these a bunch of times, and I've always done them the right way, but I never actually took a minute to think about what I was doing. So when you look at this schematic, you will the normal volume and tone on a Jazzmaster is 1 meg pots, okay? Up here, we have a 1 meg linear pot, and then the tone capacitor is a 0.02 microfarad, and with a 50K linear pot tone pot. So the tone circuit is different. It is a completely different tone circuit than the regular tone knob on the guitar. It does not have a resistor, but it does have a extremely low a 50K instead of a 250K or a 500K. It has so it's more like a switch actually. And so it really muffles it down more than a regular tone pot would. Plus, it gives you separate control. So no extra resistor, but definitely a different pot and a different cap. So, yeah, very cool. Very cool questions. When it came to that, I thought that was really interesting. Let's see. And then this is Jeff Childs. Moving on to our next Jeff of the evening. Hey Dylan, can you talk about the many ways to wire up a single one of your P90s? I'm thinking about using a 3-way switch and need to know 3 different configurations for said P90. And the thing I could not fit on here is he said to make sure to tell you hi so that you were not ignored during the live stream tonight. It did not fit on here.
So he still ignored me, but thank you, Jeff.
Well, I could have... Okay, yeah. I could have made a separate box, I guess.
Like you're going to do for the next guy.
Yes, like I'm going to do for the next one. Okay. So, if you want to use a 3-way switch, and you want to have one pickup, what I would do is do Esquire circuit. My favorite Esquire circuit would be in the forward position, that like a base circuit with like a 0.1 microfarad cap, like the Eldred mod base circuit. And then in the middle position, I would have volume and tone. And then in the bridge position, all the way back, I would do straight to the jack with no controls like Matt likes it. That's what I would do. That would be my 3 stages. My favorite setup for a single pickup guitar, besides just a volume and a tone like a Les Paul Jr., but if I was going to put a switch on it, my favorite one is a 4-way switch. Then you would have the bass circuit all the way forward. Then you would have volume and tone in position 2. And then in position 3, you would have just volume. And then in position 4, straight to the jack. And what's really fun about that is, remember how we always talk about every time you add a component to the guitar, it changes it just a little bit, it takes away a little bit. So then what you can do is you can adjust your volume and your tone down a little bit, and just with the switch, you can get like bass, and then guitar, then more, then more, then more. Like, that's my favorite. This is the 4-way Esquire circuit. Super fun stuff. This is also an interesting thing, because I'm about to say some stuff that I have never agreed with until recently in doing all this guitar testing. I'm also learning a lot.
Okay. I don't know why you had to preface.
Well, because this is part of the thing, because what they don't know and what I haven't said is I'm going to come out with a whole new thing about tone wood.
You just said it now, so
I did.
proceed.
But this is another thing where...
Can of worms has opened.
Yep. Well, we're not going to... That's going to be a different can of worms for a different time when I can actually talk more about that other stuff.
Tease.
Jeff E. We got to keep him coming back.
All right.
I've never had or played a hardtail Strat. I thought it would be cool and different. My question is, would you be sacrificing the tones you can get with the tone block, or the ability to change the tone block, or to change the tones by swapping different tone blocks? This is an interesting thing, because I never really, I mean, okay, on a Strat.
That's why you should say never. Should say never. That's
Yeah,
why you should.
Yeah, I know.
That's why you should never say never. Yeah.
Because I've been really experimenting with a bunch of this stuff lately, and I've had the facilities to hear things and play things that I've never been able to play before, and guitars I've never been able to play before. So to be able to learn about all this stuff in a new way has been really fun for me. So, and one of the things that I've not thought about, people always say, do these tone blocks make a difference? Well, they do, because on a Strat, the tension of the springs behind the guitar is part of, I don't want to say it's part of the scale length, because it's outside the tonal area of the guitar, but it directly has an effect on the transverse wave that is the string when you plug it, because it does move back and forth when you strum. And when you change the tone block from tungsten, like from pot metal to tungsten to whatever else, brass.
It's like a class of music.
Pot metal, is that like...
Pot metal. Sounds better
who would
than
that be?
I don't know. What's the
What's
stuff that
the best...
plays too long? Like not that.
You mean like jam band stuff?
Jam band. Pot metal sounds better than jam band. That's all I wanted to say.
So what it would be, pot metal would be like... what are those microtonal guys? Pot metal would be like... the Alien, what's the Alien name, guys? And they use the microtonal guitars with the...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's gonna drive me insane now.
Finish talking about tone blocks.
Okay, so when you have that motion of the tone block moving back and forth, the trem moving back and forth, it does change how the guitar sounds. So then when you change a tone block, it changes how much basically damping there is happening. But you don't want to over damp it. So one of the things that somebody who I respect told me the other day was that he always puts the tremolo cover on every guitar. I never do.
I know.
And I was like, why? And he said, because when your clothes touch the springs, it screws it up.
So your big belt buckle or
yeah. He's
whatever.
Like, so don't put felt. He was very passionate about this. Don't put felt in there. Don't put any kind of dampening stuff. That's part of the sound of the guitar. And if you play and your shirt is all against it and everything, it's gonna cause problems. And I was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. How much?
We have some Hawkwind.
I don't know.
King Gizzard, Iron
King
Butterfly.
Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. That's who I was trying to think of.
Alien Ant Farm.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. They're like,
You just said that wrong.
King Gizzard. Yeah, it's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, isn't it?
I don't think so.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I thought so. I follow them on Facebook and I don't track every move that they make, but
Not like Sting.
I knew you were gonna go there. Anyway, a hardtail Strat is a completely different experience. It is a different thing, and I think you should try it. I just built one for a guy. That's the one that went to. I'm gonna say the wrong country, and they're not. They don't like each other right now. It's not Russia. It's not Croatia. Where's the war happening where they don't like each other? Russia and the country next to it. Anyway, that's where the guitar went.
Oh, the guitar.
Yeah, that's where the hardtail Strat went.
Kiev, Ukraine, or
Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah.
Yeah, it went to Kiev, Ukraine.
You said that so many times.
I know.
So it was like stuck in my brain, and I never did look up where it was. So I just.
Yeah, I just know that there's stressful times over there for those folks.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, Ukraine. Y'all are way smarter than us tonight. A little slow tonight or something.
Well, these are the end of the day, man. And I got up and...
My brain is done.
Yes. So your job is very brainy during the day, right? Well, it is. I
mean, I have to use my brain if that's what brainy means.
Yes. And my job has been way more brainy than it normally is. I can sit in front of a pickup winder and make pickups all day long. But designing this stuff, I love it. But when you're on a time frame and when you're doing stuff you've never done before, and it's really different.
Wayne Hussey, whoever that is, says it's okay. Most of us don't know Georgia from Kentucky. They're in Denmark, right?
Yes. Yeah. Is he in Denmark?
Isn't it Denmark?
I don't know. I get that. Is it Netherlands? I don't know.
No, I thought it was Denmark. He even said earlier that, by the way, the pickups left New York for Denmark yesterday, according to tracking. Many thanks.
Oh, awesome. Very good. Very good. So it's on a boat somewhere. Very cool.
Goes by boat, not plane?
I don't think so. I think it goes... I don't know. I actually don't know.
A long time.
I don't know. I just know yesterday I shipped... I don't know if Fat Philosopher's here, but I just...
He is.
Oh, he is. So...
He said his mother is Ukrainian.
He's an interesting dude. Because he's from Canada, I think.
He's from all over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, I made a lefty control setup for his telly.
Yep.
And a new set of pickups for him, and that left in the mail. So I had a shipment going to Australia yesterday, one going to Arizona because Jeff McRickard's pickups and controls left yesterday.
Oh, he's in Arizona?
Because he's in Arizona, in Winslow.
Oh. Standing on a corner.
They actually have a thing. No, they literally do. I remember when they did it. They made a huge deal about it.
I could sing every word to that song, and I've never been there.
Because Winslow is like... It's cool if you live there.
Why is it cool if you live there if it's not cool
I
to
just
go
have to
there?
say that because Jeff is
Oh,
there.
that was the nice thing to say? Aw.
I know cool people in Winslow. Is Winslow that cool? Not really. It's one of those... There's a whole stretch of towns. I used to live in Arizona, just north of Winslow. And there's a whole stretch of towns right there on I-40 that are like, oh, the train broke down. I guess we'll make a town here. It's one of those kind of deals.
One of those 5 mile long trains.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, anyway.
Oh, and they said it said New York Airport, so maybe it flies.
Oh, I guess maybe it flies then, yeah.
Flying pickups.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, pickups.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to get into some more questions?
I am. Let's do a couple questions and then we're going to talk about why I think these...
Or we could do that first. I forgot. What do you want to do?
Let's talk about that first.
That, meaning this, that you want to talk about?
Yes.
That is this?
The title,
Yes.
the title thing. So, I've mostly left every guitar group on Facebook now. But when I was in them, I can imagine that they are still this way. That if a guy, let's say a guy spends $450 for a classic vibe Telecaster, right? And he then buys a set of my pickups, or anybody's. So let's use mine for, because I know the prices. So for $239 or something, I think is what it, $239 bucks. You can get a set of new pickups and a whole new control plate, and you can put it in your classic vibe telly, right? So now you have $600-700 in your classic vibe telly that you bought for brand new for $450. Will you get $700 for a $450 guitar? No, because people will say that it is just a classic vibe, and no matter what you do to it, it's not going to be worth more. And I have real problems with that, because a couple reasons. I was thinking about this actually in relation to some things that Matt said last week when he was on our show, that guitars are not expensive enough. And I said that again this week in some conversation. Oh, I was on an Instagram live stream with another channel, and I was saying it over there, because I do agree. I agree that guitars are not expensive enough. $459 guitar, okay, that you get from China, Indonesian made, wherever they're made. They're fantastic, right? And they're good. The fretwork is good. The setup is good. The wood is good. The finish is good. So the guitar can't really be worth less. So then when you make improvement to it, why can't it be worth more? I don't understand why it can't be worth more. Because it can't be worth less.
Is it just that people don't see the value in it, or...
I think it's people want to make the point. It's a $450 guitar, therefore it can't be worth more than that. It will always have to be worth less than that. And I disagree. I totally disagree. Now, if you put a pinup girl sticker on it and some DR fluorescent color strings and you do some stupid stuff to it, maybe you could devalue that guitar. The other part of the argument is the modification something that most people would want? And I would have to say that I think if you had a lower price guitar, a a Squier or a Mexico-made Fender, for example, or an Epiphone Les Paul, that if you improved the pickups by anybody, I don't care who it is, if it was from DiMarzio or if it was from Seymour Duncan, or if it was from me, or if it was from Lawler, it doesn't matter, that you should be able to recoup some of that investment in a guitar that is already pretty decent, and anything you do in the pickup and pots department is an improvement.
I mean, if you'd have done it when you bought it new, you'd have paid more for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's... And okay, and there's another thing too here. If you take a Porsche Cayman and put 70 grand worth of mods in it, and then try to get Porsche 911 money for it, chances are it won't happen, because you crossed into this other, where these cars cross over, right? But a Squier Telecaster or a Epiphone Les Paul that costs $600 new, $450 new, in this range, if you put $300-400 into it, does not get close to crossover with an American-made version of that same guitar. Because, for example, a Les Paul is $2,400. Okay, so I'll look at a Gibson, a real Gibson Les Paul is $2,400. An Epiphone Les Paul is $6-ish, $6-7. So if you make some improvements to that thing that are really good ones, and they're done well, they have to be done well. You can't just like duct tape stuff in there and have electrical tape on all your everything. And
that's the point somebody just made. So yeah, because he's saying, this is Jack Tripper, he says, one legit reason why people consider it not worth more with mods is too many people being hacks about how they do install, replace. So many changes means more problems the new buyer has to fix.
This is a fantastic point that I was going to get to. This is why it's important to not cheap out on this stuff. You hear Matt talking about it on his channel. You hear me talking about it on my channel all the time. Do not cheap out on your soldering. If you're going to do this, if this is going to be your hobby for what I hope is the rest of your life, then why are you not spending an extra $30 for a better soldering iron and spending the time to learn how to do it and do it properly? And why are you not learning? Or if you don't want to learn and you're just a player, because some people are just players and they don't want to work on their own stuff, get a relationship with a good tech that you trust that does good work, instead of taking it to your buddy who will do it for $20. I mean, I've fixed a lot of stuff. I took it to my friend and he said he could. No, all the solders look like snot, and you know, and the guitar was devalued. Now, obviously, we're not talking about a '59 Les Paul here. You know what I mean? Like, don't modify vintage guitars. And one of the things that Doug DeMiro said the other day in his video about cars is, if you're going to get new wheels on your car, keep the old ones. Because what if your car becomes collectible?
Oh.
Right? Like, what if, because he was talking about, for example, E39 M5s, like a 1999 to 2003 BMW E39 M5 was just a car for a long time. But in the last 4 to 5 years, now you got to spend 50-60 grand for a good one. And I mean, I remember being able to buy them for $8,500. Now they're getting to be collectible. So do you have a guitar that, you know, a Fender Squier probably won't become collectible, but what if it's one of the artist ones, you know? Maybe a John 5 Squier will become collectible. Maybe they didn't make very many of, or end up selling. Because what'll happen is Fender will say, we're going to make this model because it's a different color and the pickguard is a little different, so we're going to call it its own model. We talked all about this last week. And there's way too many models out there. And then all of a sudden, they think they're going to sell thousands of them, and they only sell a few hundred. And then the next thing you know, your guitar's rare, and you didn't even know it. I have one of those. My 1985 Fender Stratocaster with the Kaler Series 1 tremolo is the guitar's not worth a lot of money, but the tremolo is worth like $1,000. Just the tremolo. So I have all of the original parts. I have the locking nut, because a Strat with a locking nut, pretty rare. So I have all the original parts. So even if I didn't use them in my daily playing, if I ever wanted to sell the guitar, which I don't because it's my first one, but if I ever did, I have all those original parts to put back to good. And then, you know, yeah. This is an interesting... and the reason I'm bringing it up is there's two sides of it. There's one from the seller's side. He obviously wants to get his money out of his guitar that he put into it. And you're not going to get every dollar back from all those mods. Then there's the buyer who wants to pay less because you modified it. But if it's a guitar you want and it's good and it's worth something, then pay the money.
How do you know that in like this online world? Like, how do people buy guitars, and how do you know that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is a cultural thing that needs to change. And I know that I'm in the minority on this. I know I am.
I mean, do you think it's just knowledge, though? Like, I mean, if I wanted to go buy a car, and they had added some stuff on, and they're telling me the value of it, but it doesn't mean anything to me because I don't care about it, and I don't know what it means. Mm-hmm. So that's like a lack of knowledge.
Right.
I probably wouldn't buy that car because I'm not the right consumer for it.
Exactly. So, okay. Excellent example.
Yeah.
And then you probably wouldn't go in the comments on the post and talk about what a crappy car it is and how it's a terrible deal and I wouldn't buy that car and everything. You wouldn't do that.
It's no longer my business.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is a mentality, and it is a what do you always talk about this in like the self-improvement stuff? What is this like a
projection?
That
mirroring?
That no, but the thing where I don't know, cheap people are, if you're inherently cheap, you're always going to be in this fight, I guess, right? Like I'm not. Like if I say something's worth it to me, I'm just going to pay the money. Because I'm not going to waste any kind of mental energy on something. I'm going to just be like, this camera.
Yeah, but I feel like, is that what it is, though? There's probably an audience for it, right? Just maybe not the majority of people who see it is not the right people to see it.
Yeah, maybe that's part of like selling stuff on Facebook and online and stuff, is you open yourself up to that more.
And I mean, if you like made your own pickups and named them some other name and there was no reputation, no history, there was nothing, like you would probably be a little more hesitant too. Like, and I get, because a lot of people are saying like, I don't want to pay for somebody else's mods. And that is a choice. Just like when you choose to do something to the Jeep, you choose to do something, like,
right.
You have to make a conscious decision. This isn't going to bring any more value, but it's important to me right now. Mm-hmm. I would think that could be with any industry.
Okay. So, to meet you in the middle, to meet everybody in the middle who's saying this, because I do agree, like, if it's not a mod that I would do, then I don't want to pay for it.
And you don't want to have to work to undo it.
And I don't want to have to work to undo it. If it's a mod that I would do anyway, and it's done well, I'm going to pay for it. It saves me the time to do it.
No, I mean, that seems totally fair. I just feel like
there's a middle ground to it, I guess.
But the majority, I could see where it looks like that never happens, but it probably does. Mm-hmm. It's just a smaller population of, can I trust you?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you can flip a guitar and get value out of it because people have seen you work on it and they know your work. Like
that's true.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. I get top dollar for my stuff because it is modded with my stuff and it's good stuff. And I'm very public about.
Right.
Like, everybody sees me playing them.
But you
They
don't
know
get to
I'm
do
not.
that if you're just like,
No, that's
I see
true.
this marketplace post. Like,
yeah.
I'd be a little nervous too.
But I would just, I don't know. I just feel like it's a mentality. I think I don't want people to devalue other people's instruments. That's and just walk away. Like, don't make comments about it and don't like drag them down, because there's an ass for every seat. That's what we say in motorbike stuff. There's an ass for every seat. And just because you're not interested in it doesn't mean that the next guy who's scrolling is like, that is exactly the thing I'm looking for.
Right.
You know what I mean? So don't get in the comments and be like, that guitar's not worth that much. Like, maybe it isn't.
Maybe
to
you're
you.
killing somebody else's dream, man.
Right. That, I guess, maybe that's more what I think about, but I see it a lot. I see a lot of, gear bashing is a whole thing, but especially when it comes to selling and reselling and purchasing.
I mean, we've talked about, I know we keep talking about cars, but it's just, when I think of mods,
because we're car people.
It's the first thing I think of. We've seen some crazy, very niche-y car groups, clubs, and the things they do to their cars, I would never drive, I would never own.
Mm-mm.
But it is so cool to see people when they love what they have. Like, whatever that is. So, I would never go up to them and be like, that is the ugliest car I've ever seen.
No.
I would be like, dude, that's cool. I'm glad you love your car. Like,
You're talking about donks, aren't you?
if you tell me what that is, I might be.
Like the 73 Impala with the wheels on it.
Yes,
That are like this big?
yes.
Yeah.
Remember the one we saw
They're
with
terrible.
the huge hood scoop? And,
Yeah.
Yeah. And the paint was amazing.
On the face of it, they're
we loved
terrible
it.
because it's not something that we are into.
And it cannot be practical to drive.
No, it can't be. It can't be a good ride. It can't be whatever. And I would never, ever give you 2 cents for one. But those guys give each other top dollar in the community.
Yeah.
They give each other top dollar for that stuff, and they're constantly trading the parts, and they're constantly just like Jeep stuff. Like, most people wouldn't, if I put 20
Which is a
grand,
whole nother culture.
it's a whole nother
We won't
culture.
get
Same
into Jeep
motorcycles, anything. Any subculture has
Yeah.
a nichier down group that finds value in
But a
stuff.
Jeep's a great example. I mean, you can't find a used Jeep
Anywhere.
for a price you want to pay, and then when they've done mods, you're a different guy. Like, your quality of modifications and what you like as far as like rock crawling, desert racing type of stuff, which obviously is not popular where we live. So the mods people do, you're like, no, that's crap. I would never do that.
No,
it's not
they
that
do
they didn't put a
mud
ton of
boggy
money
stuff.
in it, though. Like, that's of value to them. It's not of value to you.
It's the same thing with guitars.
Right.
It is the same thing with guitars. It's just a matter of finding, and the only difference is
I didn't mean to be so involved in this conversation.
No, this is great. This is exactly, well, we were talking about this before. This is fun. I just feel like we can allow the community to be more positive, even if it's something that we're not interested in. That would definitely be a thing that I would focus on. Like, just don't talk trash about something that you're not interested in just because.
Or if you're not going to buy it. Why do people make negative comments? I mean, if you're not going to buy it, move along.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. It is an interesting
No, it's an interesting thing. And I think the only reason I brought the subject up because I'm about to sell a Stratocaster. And, not really, I am about to sell a Stratocaster. But I was thinking about it actually when I was looking at that guitar the other day. And then I was thinking about that Doug DeMuro thing about cars. And I'm like, yeah, I have a $379 pickguard in this guitar. The guitar is $1,000. It doesn't make the guitar worth $1,400. I'm probably going to sell for like $800. It's probably really, if it was 100% factory, worth $650 or $700. But I'm going to get $800 for it. For that Strat. Because it's got really good stuff in it, and it's clean, and it's perfect, and it's, So yeah, I was thinking about where I am on that thing. I'm like, if you look on Facebook right now, Marketplace or Reverb or somewhere, somebody would probably ask about $650, and I'm like, yeah, $800. That's what I'm gonna get for it. Which is what I got for the last guitar that I sold. That was probably worth the $650 range, but because all the stuff was really, really good, it was worth a little bit more. And it's, again, like what you said, it is also because 100% we know it's not hacked inside.
100%.
Obviously we know it all works. So, but anyway, just think about that when you're scrolling Facebook and when you're looking at used stuff. It's a pet peeve of mine when I see people trashing.
What is that the theme song from?
What?
I don't know why they said that.
What?
Like Three's Company or something? I feel like I just aged myself.
Doug DeMuro is off-brand Jay Leno's guitar. He's a different thing for sure. Do we have any questions in there?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any super chats right now, so.
Dang it. Alright. Questions. Three's Company. Didn't I say that?
You did.
Awesome. Now it's stuck in my head, so somebody think of something else. I don't know if this is like ohms, or is this like ohms. Anyway. Dylan, how does playing near saltwater environments like the beach impact pickup life and tone?
It shortens everything. I have a couple of very good... I don't do repairs anymore, but I have a couple of really good friends that I do some work for when I'm home. And they play in Myrtle Beach and Savannah and stuff all the time. And he buys literally... he literally buys Squires and like cheap guitars, like knockoff Tellys and knockoff Strats, and then has me put good pickups and stuff in it to play at the beach. So he doesn't play as nice guitars at the beach. It's very hard on stuff.
Super chat. Thanks, Holster.
Holsters.
Skeetus? That's I bet that's not how you say it.
No. You should phonetically put that, how you say your name in there.
My goodness. Okay.
Favorite cheap whiskey. Right now, my favorite cheap whiskey is this right here. It's not very old because they're a new distillery in Cookeville, Tennessee. But it's called King Snake Straight Bourbon, and they are from the Tennessee Legend. These guys are actually from Sevierville, Tennessee, which is over by like Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. Yeah, but this stuff is pretty good, as you can see. Yeah, that's what and it's what I would pay $26 or something for that bottle. It wasn't expensive. Yeah, it's good. Yep. Thank you for the super chat, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
We ready for another one?
Oh, he makes me think too. Yeah, go ahead. You got one?
Yes.
Awesome.
Joe McCarthy says, Dylan, I need a source for a good pickup that mirrors a Fender 63.
Oh. Yeah. You should just buy our classic 5s. That would be the ones. They're going to be flat. They're not going to be staggered, but they're going to give you that. That's basically what I made them for. Yep. Yeah.
Did you need to remember something?
No, I was just going to say, because his name was Holster something, that I got a new EDC knife. I've got another Benchmade. I don't know if you can see. It's not a double edge because it's an automatic, but it just looks like it.
I thought it was.
No, it's not double.
Oh,
No,
that was what I asked you, and I was like, how do I close this thing?
Yeah, no, otherwise...
You didn't even tell me that. I thought I was
Uh-uh.
going to slice my finger open.
No, it's nice. I like it a lot.
Does it feel any better? Or does it feel rough still?
It's starting to wear a little bit, but not enough.
I don't
You
like
don't like the texture of it?
Mm-mm.
No. I like it though. The steel is really good too.
I feel like it would like wipe fingerprints off or something.
No, it hasn't really aged that much. I mean, I've only had it for a couple weeks, and it's coming in and out of my pocket a few times. I haven't actually used it a whole lot, but my Benchmade mini bug out is the one I use mostly. But anyway.
Heart of Oak says we have to try Bareface Canadian whiskey. It's awesome.
Bareface. Okay.
How come everything has animal names in it that you want to try? Like buffalo, bear. It's weird. Anyway. Jeffrey Egan. This is back when we were talking about hidden pickups. Fender makes a version of the Esquire called the Secret Agent with the neck pickup under the pickguard. Trogley demoed one and was not impressed. Wasn't very loud.
Yep.
I know that's not a question, but
there is the that is the problem, and I'm hoping to fix it.
And then Heart of Oak was the one who asked about those Marauder pickups, and after we started talking about it, they said, I don't know who it is. My son and I are thinking of building a Marauder from scratch. Now, would you do the pickguard with 4 3-way switches? Gave 48 different tones with its in and out of phase pickup positions.
Whew, I don't know, man. I'm never that complicated. We saw one of those at Songbirds.
Speaking of cool cars, Marauder. Just saying. I had to do that. I knew you would laugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, Songbirds.
Yeah, they had one of those. It was the prototype for it.
Oh, really?
And it was in one of the drawers. One of the drawers, it was the top.
Yeah.
I remember it was the top drawer, and he pulled it out, and it was all black. And there was no pickups, but they were all in the
Could you
pickguard.
visually go through that place?
Absolutely.
And be like,
yeah.
I remember. You could?
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a few things in there that
And what about the...
really made an impression on
When
me.
we went to the art place with the display. That was pretty good, too.
Oh, the
In New
Metropolitan
York.
Museum of Art. We went and I got to see Stevie Ray's #1 in person. That was really cool. There was a lot of people there I didn't care about. Obviously, what's her face? Her. Joan Jett. Her guitar was there. Eddie Van Halen's guitar was there.
That was what everybody was...
Yeah, that's what they were there
oogling
for.
over.
But I was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't hardly contain myself for Stevie Ray's #1 guitar. That was really, really awesome. Because I'm a huge Stevie Ray fan. But the Songbirds thing was interesting because there was a few things that I found very, very cool there. One, I just posted on my Instagram the other day, Telecaster number 0007. It was literally the 7th Telecaster. And it was a prototype. And it was all crappy looking because it was what they used to experiment with paint colors. So it had been painted like tons and times and then stripped off. So like the corners weren't perfect and stuff because it had been sanded on so many times. And it was the first Telecaster with a neck pickup. And they were experimenting with the neck pickup. And so it had a route, but it wasn't the final shape. It wasn't even the final size. That was really cool. And then they had the prototype. It was really funny because this is when the guy I think made friends with me. Because he's like, I don't remember what the year was now, but he said it off the top of his head. He goes, this guitar is X year, whatever it is. Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Does anybody know why this is unique? And I was like, yeah, because it has a Bigsby on it, and Bigsby's weren't even out yet. And he's like, how did you know that? And I'm like, because I'm like the world's biggest Bigsby fan. And he let me hold this guitar, and it was so heavy because it was the B16 Bigsby prototype in steel. It was not in aluminum, and so the whole thing was all steel. It was very, very cool. And then I also got to hold and play Les Paul's personal Les Paul studio guitar, which was really cool. It had like a microphone thing on it, and it had a little preamp bolted on the back, like it was his. Like experimenting guitar. I got to play that. And then the other one I got to play was there are 2 fully rosewood tellies in the world, and there are 2 fully rosewood Strats in the world. They only know where one is though. And the special thing about being able to strum a couple chords on that was that guitar, the rosewood Strat that they had there, allegedly was to go to Jimi Hendrix, but then he died. So to be able to hold that guitar was pretty special. And then they had the original, like the #1 black Stratocaster there too. It was pretty cool. They had some really cool stuff that I just, yeah. People accuse me of not liking vintage guitars, but I would own all the things if I could afford it. That room had an evacuation system in it that would suck in less than 30 seconds. It would suck all the oxygen out of the room so that if there was a fire, it wouldn't burn. Like there was so much money in that room. It's still there, I guess. It's just not open to the public. But yeah, pretty cool. Anyway.
Cool.
Tangent.
Doug Santinello wants to know,
hey, Doug.
Can I split a humbucker with just a toggle switch and leave the original volume and tone pot?
Yes. All you have to do is take the center links of the pickup, whatever that is for whatever brand you have, and all you're doing is you're just hooking it to ground. So just hook one side of the switch to the pickup, the center link of the pickup, and then hook the other side of the switch to ground. That's it. So when you turn the switch on, it will ground it and split it, and when you turn it off, it will be open and it won't be split anymore.
Cool. Ada TM says, hey Dylan, I've just changed pickups to Affinity Strat stock pickups, changed to CTS pots. My question is, should I change the switch to a better one? It's a PCB based one.
If you have successfully done all that work and not burned it, play it till it doesn't work. They're kind of crappy, but play it till it doesn't work, which will be 6 months if you play it a lot. That's the only thing. So I don't typically tell people to mod their guitars for no reason. I always say play it until it doesn't work. That being said, if you're playing live and you want to 100% have reliable guitar, and you don't want problems, then yeah, swap it out for an Oak Grigsby that you can get on Amazon. They're like $12, and it's pretty good. Another super chat. Awesome, thanks, Doug, for the super chat. Oh, that was thanks for the question answer.
Yes.
On the coil splitting situation.
I felt like that was a test then, if I'd have missed his question.
Yeah. He's rewarded you with a super chat. How about that?
Ooh.
Thank you so much.
No pressure. All right. Joe McCarthy says, looking for a set, single of pickups that give me a vintage Fender 63 sound. I think this is an add-on to his original question. Pickups alone or in a loaded pick guard would be great. Any recommendations? Hint. I think you already gave a recommendation, right?
I did.
Oh, uh-oh. We have visual aids again.
This very pickguard right here has those pickups that I alluded to earlier. And it is a loaded pickguard, and it is all complete. And it is ready to ship as we speak. I could literally put it in a box tomorrow, and it would be at your house in 3 days with priority mail.
Depending on where you live.
Usually 3 days with priority mail.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't live in the United States?
This is actually the pickguard out of my personal Strat that never got used, really. I played it a couple of times, and we took it out. Pickups aren't even labeled. I mean, this is brand new everything. Bourne's pots, and I'm pretty sure this has the mod. Nope, it doesn't, but I can do it before it leaves. I like to make this tone knob separate so that it doesn't, so that it controls the bridge separately. So, yeah. So there you go. Hit me up on, go to my website and click the little contact us button and shoot me a message, and we'll work this one out. There it is right there. I actually just posted that on Instagram today, and I'm surprised it's still here.
Probably because you're not on Instagram.
Probably not.
Phil, I don't know how to say his last name. I just know he shows up and he's always like JP Ma.
Oh, yeah.
My 2001 Made in Mexico Strat with your pickups to me is an $800 Strat at the very least.
Agreed. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing. If you have a guitar if it's good, then it's good. You just have to find somebody that thinks it's worth what you want for it. But that's what I do. I don't sell stuff. I don't just give it away, you know? If it's worth something, I just don't give it away. Mm-hmm. And I guess I am coming from a place of privilege because we have a bigger audience, so we can reach more people when I post something on Facebook or something. But I will tell you, that's not as easy as it looks.
He said he'd never sell it.
I don't. Let's just say, when I try to sell stuff, nobody wants to buy it. It's kind of funny. I mean, the website does fine, and of course we sell pickups all the time. But if I'm like, hey, I have a guitar for sale, nobody wants to buy it for sale. I don't know why, but
anyway,
at least not right away.
Not right away.
And then what happens is, like, 10 people call you on the same day. Hey, do you have that guitar?
Nope, it's gone.
It's gone.
Jeffrey Egan said he's going to keep the original rims on his Dodge Avenger just in case.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I thought that was funny. Especially the little pause you had there, like, wait, what?
I was trying to think of what an Avenger is. Especially if it's an RT. Or an SRT.
Ada TM says, another question. Does electrical or magnetic radiation around the guitar somehow ruin the pickup's tone, like in close proximity of the guitar just above the pickups?
No, as long as it's not magnet really strong, it won't hurt anything. So electromagnetic radiation turns into noise. So there's a lot of misconception about this. So since we have this loaded pickguard here, and let's say we have this light, okay? So this is going to be too bright on me right now, but this is the light that I'm lighting myself with. So let's say we were playing guitar and we put this next to it, then we would start to have noise in the pickups. Not with this light, but most lights, because they have a transformer in them. So like all your fluorescent lights, anything that has a step-up transformer in it. So fluorescent lights, microwaves, television power supplies, anything will give off electromagnetic interference, radio frequency interference. It's electromagnetism. And it's typically at 60 hertz or 50 hertz if you don't live in the United States. And that's what hum is. And so if you can minimize the amount of those things close to your guitar, then you will have less noise. Will it actually change the tone of the guitar? Yes and no. Yes, in the respect that since the noise floor comes up, then you have to adjust your tone because you can't hear some of your tone because it's masked with noise. So then you have to adjust how many highs you're using, for example, to get rid of the noise, and then all of a sudden then it's screwing up your tone, you know? So yeah, definitely does affect the guitar. Not in the way you think, though.
But the question also included magnetic field.
So if you were to have a strong actual magnetic field very close to the guitar, it could affect the way the guitar sounds. However, magnets are not as strong as people think they are. Hang on. Do I have one sitting here? I thought I had. No, maybe not. Okay. So these magnets, for example, in this guitar, their effective magnetic field is only about less than 1/4 of an inch. Okay? And in fact, it's probably less than... Yeah, I know, I gotta replace that screw. Less than 1/4 of an inch. So you're talking 150 thousandths of an inch, or 4 millimeters, for you metric folks. So it would have to be a big magnet, and it would have to be very close. That being said, a form of magnetism that is used on purpose is an ebow. And they hold that thing above the strings and and it makes it sound like a violin. That's just a magnet that's vibrating the string. So, yeah. And it doesn't hurt anything. Yeah.
Interesting.
Pretty cool. Sustainer. A sustainer, like in Sinister Gates from A7X, his guitar, that's a magnet underneath the strings that causes the string to vibrate. Cool.
Vox Guitars Rock says, are DiMarzio and Seymour Duncan pickups wired so they would be in phase if you had a DiMarzio SD neck humbucker with a Duncan 59 in the bridge?
I do not know, and what you have to do is Google. It's out there everywhere. There's a piece of paper. I used to have it on my wall in my shop when I was doing a lot of repairs, and you can find it. If you just Google humbucker wiring, it's a pretty famous, everybody uses it thing, and it's like all these various brands of humbuckers, and it gives you all of their wiring for all of them, and then you would be able to know what's in phase. And if you don't have that and you're trying to figure it out, I think...
We have a super chat.
Uh-oh. If you're trying to figure it out, I'll do a video on that. I'll do a video on how you can figure that out.
Whoops.
Oop, hang on.
Thanks, Doug.
See, I would have sent it anyway. You're awesome, Doug.
That's so funny. I feel less pressure now.
More sustained. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. More sustained than a backbone? Yes. More sustained than a backbone.
Only one person, by the way, I think it's before you said it too. So Telequacker knew the word donks before you said it.
Awesome.
Or maybe they were just confirming they know what it is, because I don't think I didn't make any kind of description. You knew what I was trying to say because you were with me.
I wonder where Telequacker is from.
Where are you from, Telequacker?
Because if you know what that is...
Seems very regional, yeah.
Yeah. You may. Yeah.
Joe McCarthy was comparing that conversation to a suicide clutch on a Harley. He said, chromed up, they look cool, but it's not something I would buy, and people love them.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Egan, speaking of an ass for every seat, thoughts on the soon-to-be-revealed, July 13th, Sportster replacing Harley with the liquid-cooled Pan America engine putting out 150 horsepower?
Okay. I'm just going to go on the record right here and piss off everybody off at once. I am a massive motorcycle nut. I like guitars like this much. I like motorcycles like there's no scale.
Nope.
I love them. That being said, I cannot stand Harley Davidson or anything having to do with Harley Davidsons. I cannot. Is that
where your hat came from?
I did buy this at the Harley store, yeah. But I actually texted her and said, "Does it say Harley Davidson on it anywhere?"
I'm just saying, it came from a
said
Harley
no.
store. Never say never, y'all. Never say never.
However, this new Pan American thing is the closest thing to a bike that I want to go and ride. And I actually want to go ride it. I want to see what that motor's like. I'm very, very curious about it.
Aren't you curious about their electric bike too?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All the not tractor things.
Just saying.
I just don't
never.
like the fact that they get so much money for
totally
a thing.
Be a brand. I like their brand. Just saying.
I don't like anything about it. I don't like how they feel. I don't like how they sound. I don't like their quality of workmanship.
I like
their approach to community and brand freaking amazing.
Yes, I love that. I really do.
The reason they're so successful is because they are good at that. It has nothing to do with how good their products are, because they're not. But I'm very interested lately, in the last 6 months to a year, in their new stuff. So the long answer, short answer, long all the way around question is, I want to ride that bike with that motor in it. I'm very, very interested in that. I'll never buy one. Maybe.
Never say never.
Although I thought I really wanted an Indian FTR 1200, and I think I don't want one now.
Yeah, and you were wrong. So never say never.
Yeah.
Jason Albert says you should use an air tool on the pivot of your knife, and it will really flip out smooth.
An air tool? What does that mean?
I don't know. Air tool oil. I missed a word.
Oh, air tool oil. Yeah. Okay, yep.
I missed a word. Sorry about that, Jason.
Air tool oil. I know what you're talking about. Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty good now.
Holster says his first name fully means blade holster. That's
okay.
Cool, man.
That's what made me think to show you this knife. So, in Knife Land, since we've been getting off topic the last few minutes, I'm really...
Get off topic.
So, we are going to be in Sevierville, Tennessee, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Correct.
And they have...
That was a special treat, y'all. We never say that.
They have this huge knife store there.
Because we've already been to it.
Yes. And the service isn't that great, but I think...
Horrible. I hope he finds nothing he wants.
I want a Microtech.
I don't want to give them any money. It was that bad.
It was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then I went to this little town that we're in. I've been just not saying the town that we're in.
You're going to say the town we're going to, so...
I know, but I don't want to say the town we're in, because it has to do with the thing I can't talk about. And I just don't want people to know where it is right now.
But they didn't even know that. And now you just told them.
Unless you buy pickups from me, because then I write it on the thing. So, in a couple of days, Jeff's going to know. Wayne Hussey's going to know.
Can't talk about it, though.
Can't talk about it.
Insiders.
Yep. If you don't want to know where we are,
if
you want to know where we are, you have to buy a set of pickups.
Oh my gosh. Every time we move. I'm just kidding.
Every time.
That's how you track our location.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Anyway, that's funny. Jeffrey McRickard, follow up on the JM circuit.
Yes.
What would it take to rewire the upper control to run the two pickups in series? Maybe use the two thumb wheel pots, one as a treble control, the other as a bass control.
Ah, man. Okay, so...
Wayne Hussey says get push-pull pots. Anyway.
Yeah.
Continue.
Honestly, that's what I would do. I would actually not put it up there. I would put it on the tone pot. I would put a push-pull on the tone pot. I would do two. I would put one on the tone pot for phase and another one for series. That would be super fun. And then basically you would have a Jazzmaster and a Jaguar in the same guitar, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, separate. I would do it separate. Cool.
Angus Clark says, is the technology in Kinman noiseless pickups significantly different to other noiseless pickups?
Yeah. It's just wind ratios and wire choice. They're good. They're some of the better ones.
Jack Tripper says, Dylan, question. Have the quality of push pots available on the market improved in recent years? The idea of push is more ergonomic than push-pull, but traditionally fail and break too early.
I agree.
Amen. I remember all those experiments.
Yeah, we had problems with those for a while. We tried them in our loaded pick guards and stuff, and I quit using them. Okay, so here's the trick with them. They're more reliable than you think, but people break them. They are fragile when you don't use them how they're supposed to be used. So, when you go to put your knobs on, make sure that the thing is in the down position so that when you push down on it and you let it go and it pops up. And never pull on it. Because what happens is you let your buddy play it and he thinks it's a push-pull and he pulls on it and then it never works right after that. So don't let anybody play your... No, I'm just kidding. That's why. Alpha is the only one that I know of that makes a pretty good one. Those are the ones that are in all the Gibsons, but I personally don't think they're that good. I should buy some more. You know what? Next time I order a bunch of stuff, I'll buy some and we'll do a video on it. Maybe we'll bust one open and see why they're so crappy. Because that might be a good video. Like push versus push pull and understand what the mechanism does, because that might be a good video. And just break a couple on purpose so you can kind of see how they break and why they break.
Holster says, yeah, Harley sucked. The loud is inefficiencies. Joe McCarthy says, I've rode Hondas, Triumphs, and Harleys. I used to work on my Harley for an hour for every hour of riding. That was a long time ago. My right knee is still recovering from the Kickstarter.
Ooh, so that means you had like a pan or a shovel or something. Old. See, I know that.
Wayne Hussey and Jeffrey McRickard both said they already looked up to know where we're at because they probably got tracking.
Oh, they did.
So they already know where we're at.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, man, part of the thing, okay, it's problematic for me because I probably don't like Harleys for the same reason that people don't like me, if they don't like me. And that is, I don't like the culture surrounding it that makes it seem better than everything else just because you dress up in a costume and go ride your motorcycle. I don't understand that. So I've always had kind of a hard time with that. That being said, I have lots of friends that ride them, and when they're not dressed up in their costume riding the motorcycle, they're really, really cool people. But it turns into the weird thing. I don't know. But I guess there's more cultures than that do that. Guitar people, Jeep people, gun people.
RV people.
RV people. Like, we all do it in some respect. And I think for some reason... I wasn't
putting us in that group. I'm saying we are surrounded
by
those
RV
groups.
people. Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe every group of people has a group like that. I just feel like it's more pervasive in the Harley community, which is interesting to me. However...
we're introverts. That's what we're saying.
If you go and hang out with a bunch of BMW GS guys, they're like just as bad in a different way. Mm-hmm. Me and Seth used to joke. My buddy that I rode motorcycles with for a long time, we used to joke about the Harley trick-or-treaters that dressed up in there.
Wayne Hussey says triathletes.
Triathletes, yeah.
Oh, and we are in one of those groups, though.
Which one?
Vegan.
Oh, yeah, because we're vegan. That's
we're
true.
Those people.
Yeah. But we don't talk like that. But we used to joke about the Harley people dressed. We used to call them trick-or-treaters because they dress up in their Halloween costumes and go ride their motorcycles. But we rode adventure bikes, and they're worse. So we used to joke about all of the people that like rode BMW GSs, like cross-country adventure motorcycles, and they're like, these people like wash their bikes so much. I swear they like come out of the hotel and they have like spray on bugs so it looks like they went somewhere. Like, we used to joke about all of that. I guess I'm just mean.
I guess you just had to be there because there was nothing funny about that.
I'm sorry, the whole spray on bug thing. That was
Anyway, all right. Charles Wallace has been there. Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Yes.
That's the one.
Oh, I almost hit somebody's comment. Jeffrey Egan says, my personality doesn't change when I ride my Harley. I'm not one of those guys.
That's good.
Add a TM. Add another question.
Mm-hmm.
A Boss GT001 effect processor. When I'm plugged in via USB cable, the hum increases a lot instead of using the adapter that came with it. How do I reduce hum that the PC is putting forward?
That sounds like a sample rate problem with your computer. I don't know enough about that to help you with that, but there's a couple things I do know. One is make sure that your guitar and everything is away from your actual computer. So remember we talked about like power supplies from lights and stuff causing problems? The switching power supply in a computer is really bad. So that can really cause a lot of noise. The quality of your USB cable, does it have one of those ferrite beads on it to minimize noise? And also the sample rate of your interface has to match your sample rate of your device. Those are the things that I know. I don't know if that will fix it for you, but that's all I know about that subject.
Oh my gosh.
What?
The last comment.
There is a direct profile correlation between toxic comments and profile motorcycle pictures on Facebook.
Setting an expectation.
That is true.
We're all caught up, by the way.
There have been times where I have gone, I don't do it very often, but if somebody says something, I don't like to delete people, like out of the comments and stuff. I don't do it very often. But every once in a while, I'm like, I think that guy is pushing it, man. I don't think. And what I'll do is
I blocked somebody last week.
You did block somebody last week. Now, I will literally go to their Facebook and see if I can find them on Facebook. And 9 times out of 10, their profile picture. And you're like, yeah, you're getting blocked.
Oh, like a spam.
No,
I had a
like
friend...
they're racist or something. Like something really.
One of my Facebook friends today was like, that status that you see is like, don't accept a friend request from me. I got hacked. And I was like, wait, should I be offended if your hacker didn't want to be my friend? Like, I didn't get a friend request.
Yeah, because I'm not a cancel person at all. I don't like to cancel people, but man, if you're super... this is the way I view it, just so anybody doesn't get this twisted coming from me, is...
Don't get it twisted.
Well, I would hope, and this is a positive thing, it's not a negative thing, I would hope that anybody in these comments tonight, that if we were to be in their town...
They can't see you scrolling.
That I know, but there's a lot of them. You all are here. There's over almost 60 people. That any of you, I would love to meet up with you and have a beer. If I was in your town.
We need to do that, by the way. There is somebody in this town.
Yes, there is somebody in this town, and we do need to try to find him. I would love to do that, if it was possible, and if schedules and all that. If there is somebody who's super hateful and super... I don't want to be friends with you, and I wouldn't want to have a beer with you, then you can be friends with somebody else. Like, that's all. I'm not canceling anybody. It's just a matter of...
Would you invite somebody into your house?
That's right. We are actually inviting you into our house every week.
And you are letting us in yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at your job. Like, that's crazy talk. Like, would you invite somebody into your workplace and be like, this is my friend?
Yeah.
If you wouldn't, why are they your friend?
Right, exactly. And that's kind of the way I view it. Because I know a lot of people will just lump it into, well, that's how the internet is. But I say it all the time. The internet is just people. And I'm a people and you're a people.
That's right.
And if you're a cool people, then you'll be on my internet. If you're not a cool people, you won't be on my internet.
Jeffrey McGregor said we need to come to Winslow. I mean, he made me not want to come
Leslie
after.
can
He was
stand
like,
on the corner.
He was like, it's not that cool. I hate that song. You can still come visit. You should come visit. You can stand on the corner. Like,
I'll tell you what.
Anyway,
we will
I just
come.
Want that. Is it an iconic place to take a picture? Like,
it is, because what I was about to say is they actually did a mural that looks like the truck on the corner from the song.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standing on the corner in a flatbed Ford, blah, 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 the flatbed Ford, whatever the words. I'm not an Eagles fan. Anyway, it's all pictured. It's all depicted on the side of a building. And Jeff could say, I don't know if it's all faded because they did it like 20 years ago, but Jeff, I will actually probably come to Flagstaff and then come over and see you in Winslow. But Flagstaff is on fire right now. So
I think more than Flagstaff is on fire.
Yeah, I feel
like lots of places are on fire.
For those of you that don't know, I lived in Flagstaff for a long time. It's like one of my favorite places, but it's on fire. All the time.
Yeah, you have lots of Harley riders. Dave says, if you were in my town, I would ride my Harley over to the RV park and have a beer with you.
Heck yeah, man. No.
Ivan says, I'd ride my old Yamaha Virago to meet you.
I used to have one of those. I had a Virago 250. I gave it to my dad. I don't even remember why. That bike showed up like it was a free bike. My brother, I don't know. It was like in the back of my garage one day, and I'm like, my brother's like, I don't know. Somebody gave that to me.
Ivan said, it's a girl, my lord, and a flatbed Ford slowing down to take a look at me.
That's right. And so that's pictured on the side of a building. And you can stand in a certain spot and then take a picture.
I'm going to have to go listen to that song because for some reason I'm hearing it in Travis Tritt's voice and not the Eagles' voice.
See, now I want to go ride a Harley.
Did you hear that?
I do.
We have like come full circle tonight, guys.
Because I want to go ride one because I want to see how good they are. Because that's the one thing I do know.
Just come to North Arizona and we'll go camping.
No. Well, I'll come to Northern Arizona, but I will camp a little different than you.
This is camping. I'm camping.
We're camping.
Glamping.
With internet, as long as it has good internet.
Yes.
I can't do it without it. We can't work without it.
Stay close to the interstate.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So funny.
Wayne Hussey says they have a big garden and a spare first floor, but it's a hell of a long drive.
That's right.
Yeah. Because we'd have to go on a boat if you took your house.
And I think if he said garden, I think that means yard.
Oh, really?
Where he's from.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that means like your front yard or
garden.
your backyard. I think they call that garden. Yeah.
And Terry Himes has said it twice.
Terry, yeah.
That your On Any Sunday shirt is a throwback.
Heck yeah, man. Yep. I'm a huge Bruce Brown fan. Big time. Big time Bruce Brown fan.
Well, this was fun.
It was fun. It was very fun. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
You want one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Eric Gruber, to completely change the subject. I just love that he was listening enough to know, like, hey, can I squeeze this in? Thoughts on a good small amp, tube preferred. Any difference really between pine cabs on them? What's been your experiences? So he may be asking the group too.
Yeah, so...
Gardens have grass, yards have concrete in Europe.
Oh.
So you're right. It's probably his yard.
I didn't know that.
You have to
I didn't
call
know
it
the
a garden is grass.
I didn't know the concrete.
And if you call it a
part.
yard, it's concrete.
Yeah, I didn't know the yard part. I mean, except for like on the yard being a prison term. But I didn't know, and that's concrete. But I didn't know that about the grass versus concrete thing. That's cool.
Just learning things every day.
Yeah, man.
So small amp.
Small amp.
Two preferred.
So I know that speaker choice and cabinet type of wood makes a huge difference. I have not personally experimented a lot with cabinet.
The pine or whatever.
Yeah, so I did have my last single 12s that I used with my Kemper were pine cabinets. But I've never been able to do like put this speaker in this identical cabinet that is birch versus one that is pine. They've always been different sizes. Like I've had birch 2x12s from Fuchs. I've had single 12s that were pine that I had custom made for my Kemper. So I've never been able to do an A-B comparison on it. I do know it makes a difference, but I've not been able to like document it to be able to tell you what I think. And I know that there's a lot of voodoo around that, just like electric guitar tone would. But I know that it does matter, but I just don't know. I don't think that you can just take what somebody says in a Facebook group as gospel on that, because there's not enough A-B. Well, all pine cabinets sound a certain way and all birch cabinets sound... I don't think that's the case, because the thickness of it matters, the size of it matters, the baffle size. So like if you can have a 12-inch speaker in a Princeton and the baffle size is really small, or you can have it in a twin or a deluxe and the baffle size is a lot bigger, and so it makes a difference. So I don't know. As far as small tube amps, I right now have a Marshall Origin 20 and I love it. If I had to do it again, I would get an Origin 50, because it has a 12-inch speaker and mine has a 10, and there is a difference with that. I am currently waiting, because a little bird told me that Fender is going to come out with a Princeton Tone Master. So when that comes out, I'm buying that. That will be on the top of the list for that, because I want a Fender amp again. So my Marshall Origin 20 will be for sale at some point, because I will get a Fender Princeton Tone Master. That will be my next one. But that doesn't have tubes. Marshall Class 5 is another good example. A Fender Champ is awesome. Fender Princeton, small tube amp, awesome. And this Marshall Origin 20 is really good too. Yeah, the Marshall Origin 20 is only $500, so brand new, and it's great. And it's got a power attenuator in it, half watt, half power, full power, and it's got a DI out. That's why I bought it, so I can record all these videos in the motorhome and still be at full chat, you know. Yeah, it's good. Cool.
Awesome.
I'm gonna have to make a YouTube video where I go ride a Harley. I'm gonna have to put it on this channel.
Apparently I have a lot of Harley riders. I mean, it's a big population, period.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
I don't have as passionate feelings as he does. And if the choice is between, like, I don't know, sport gear or leather, I mean, leather's kind of hot. Just saying.
I'm having a real hard time, because I have this goal, and if I can reach this goal, I'm going to buy a motorcycle at the end of the year. I'm thinking about buying a motorcycle at the end of the year, and I cannot figure out what I want. It's so difficult.
It won't be a traditional Harley, though, because they're too heavy.
Yeah, it won't be a Harley. It won't be an Indian. I really did want an Indian FTR 1200, but I don't think I'm going to get one of those.
Did you say you were going to sell your Marshall? Somebody already called dibs, and then somebody said, is there a second dibs?
Who said that?
Sloppy seconds. Telequacker, did you tell us where you were from, since you're still here? Where are you from, since you knew what a donk was?
If you want my Marshall, I'll sell it to you.
Does Jason Albert ask first?
Yeah, get with me. I mean, everything's always for sale. And I like to flip the stuff. And it's not to...
It's good for the channel.
Yeah, it's not to make money. It's to... I don't usually make any money on them, but it is good for the channel to get something new.
Houston, Texas.
And talk about, you know?
That's where Telequacker's at.
Oh, okay. Well, that would kind of make sense, I guess. It's a little far west, but...
Yeah, but there's a big Hispanic population there, too, so maybe...
Yeah. And I know that there's a pretty big population of those guys
he
up
said
in
we
Lamb.
got all kind of donks here.
Yeah. I just remember moving south, when I moved to the south, seeing one at the mall, and I'm like, what the heck is that? You know what I didn't know either? Just because it has those big wheels on it doesn't make it a donk.
Yeah, there's some... I think you explained all
Yes,
this to me.
it has to be.
I had never even heard
I
that
did not
term
know this.
before.
It has to be.
Was somebody racing them?
Yes. There's
Okay.
there's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the donk king.
Yeah.
He's from Washington, D.C. or something. Or somewhere. And, yeah. And so a a real donk, I think, has to be a GM B body from like 69 to like 74. It's like a pretty narrow thing. Yeah, big B body Impalas and Caprices. So all these like Crown Vics and stuff, that's not technically.
They're the Crown Vic boys, though.
Yeah, in Augusta there's the Impala boys and the Crown Vic boys, and they all have those huge wheels, and they go and they drag race them. They do all kind of stuff with them. I can't even imagine driving it, but they do it. It's pretty awesome.
He said they're more like slabs here. They don't race much. Slab means slow and banging.
Nice.
I like that.
That is awesome. That's like me sometimes.
I wonder if you could find.
That's the license plate I'm gonna put on my Jeep.
Slab. I wonder if that's like a YouTube search term. If we can find some.
I don't
slabs.
know if I want to search that.
Slow and banging.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. I just love it. The last time we were in Augusta, we drove down this road and all these dudes they were all met up and they were having this big meetup, and you could just see they were like admiring each other's paint jobs and like, and they are so crazy. Like, it's just so neat. It's like the lowriders, like when I was a kid, you know,
we
like
used to have the cereal box cars. Remember that? I don't know what happened to those.
Oh,
they probably all repainted their cars. They're in a new club.
Yeah,
now.
we had a whole club of cereal box cars. There was like the Lucky Charms car and all the cereal boxes. When I was a kid, it was because I grew up in a area for a while anyway, where lowriders, and in the early 80s and mid 80s, that was really a thing.
Early 90s is where I was at. Like,
I know, but I'm older than you, and I'm telling you.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, they were still lowriders when we were cruising. Like,
yeah, but were they lowrider S10s or were they like a 64?
Oh no,
like
S10s,
from the music video with like, yeah. See, your generation is all like lowrider S10s and like on bags and stuff.
Yeah,
with the beds all cut out and all that.
Yeah.
No, what I'm talking about is like
you old
64s with like these glittery paint jobs that are like would take days to paint these cars.
Super
like,
chat.
Uh-oh.
Moped gangs. What?
Thanks, Jonathan. In Denmark, we have moped gangs because motorcycles are so expensive. And so, yeah.
Thanks, Jonathan. If you had a question that you didn't get to ask, I'll watch for it.
Yeah, please do. So he's talking about moped gangs. That's where mod versus rocker comes from.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Right? Because mods are scooter guys and rockers are motorbike guys.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Shirt a long time.
Yeah, I had that shirt from Johnson Motor Company for a long time. Said mod. Are you a mod or a rocker? And that's what that is.
I didn't know that.
And it's from his side of the pond. It's not from...
Okay.
It's from over there. Because I think it has to do with... I was actually listening to a podcast today about when the Ramones first went to England. And then, like, punk music was, like, invented after that. And, like, how, you know, everybody came from that after that. Motorcycles under 75 cc's.
Or mopeds.
Interesting. Well, I guess we're going to jet.
We're running everybody off because we've been out here for a long time.
Yeah, having some fun, though. This has been fun. My generation was lowrider Model A's and 30s and 40s chopped hot rods. Yeah, makes sense. As I got older, it turned into the mini trucks, like what you're talking about. Yep.
Anyway, that was fun.
It was fun. Thanks for
y'all.
hanging out, everybody.
Thanks
this
for
has
all
been
the
awesome.
super chats.
And thanks for the super chats. And we will see you on Monday, probably. I don't know if there's going to be a video tomorrow. I haven't decided yet because I haven't shot it yet because I'm behind because of all this stuff. Everybody on Patreon knows about it. I kind of filled them in on some things. So if you're not a Patreon member or a YouTube member, you may not know, but you can check that out as well. And you'll see that video that I posted today just for them. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you next time.